What's up, everybody? This is Trey Biddy with HawgSports.com coming to you from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Not doing the kind of walk and talk I want to do. Not doing the walk and talk that I thought I was going to do after this one, because I still feel like Arkansas is 2 scores better than Texas A&M. And a lot of people say, yeah, Trey, mistakes. That's what cost Arkansas. They shot themselves in their foot. They beat themselves. No, they didn't. Texas A&M beat Arkansas. That's how games are decided in this conference every week. Most of the games are decided because a team makes mistakes and the other team capitalizes on those mistakes, makes them pay for those mistakes. That's how college football is played. You didn't beat yourself. Texas A&M beat you. And I see a lot of people casting blame around, and sure, there's a lot of blame to go around. I mean, a huge momentum swing down there at the 3-yard line. And how many times, guys, I've been saying, don't extend the ball out. We saw Missouri earlier today lose a game simply because they extended the ball out. We saw Arkansas a couple of times this season already with very close calls at the goal line extending the ball out. You cannot do that unless it's a do-or-die moment. Do not blame K.J. Jefferson for this loss, though. K.J. Jefferson has been a stud for Arkansas and deserves more than that. Sam Pittman deserves more than that. I've seen people posting stuff like pathetic. The newness is worn off and stuff. Get out of here with that. Guys, Sam Pittman brought this program from hell. This program was a disaster when he took over and brought it up faster than anybody. I don't know if you expected Arkansas to win every single game. I haven't. I expected them to win this one, but I know things happen in college football. I can't expect perfection, and I don't think you should either. I mean, Kendall Briles has been a pretty good offensive coordinator for most of his time here. Yeah, he made some very questionable calls, but I'm not like pathetic. Kendall Briles got to get out of here. I just don't agree with some of that stuff. There's a lot of reasons Arkansas lost. They missed a field goal. I mean, a game-winning field goal here. I mean, let's talk about some of the things that happened. You know, you had that long drive where you're marching down, and you kind of got cute over here. You know, with the Malik Hornsby stuff. Hell, guys, I was saying Malik Hornsby needs more touches. They got to find Malik Hornsby ways to get the ball. I think everybody was, but when it doesn't work over here, then it's stupid. Then it's a bad play call. Now, given the way things were going, maybe so. Maybe I would agree with you, because they were running the ball with so much success. Dominic Johnson, my guy, finally got back in the game, and he's going like 9 yards a pop. And then we didn't see him again until the fourth quarter. So yeah, I have some questions about stuff. I mean, we're going to question stuff, but like saying stuff like so-and-so needs to get the hell out of town and stuff, I can't get on board with that. I've done way too many of these walk and talks, furious and knowing what terrible coaching is and what a terribly run program is, and that's not what's happening at Arkansas. They lost this game. It sucks. They're going to bounce back. They got Bama next weekend. That's going to be tough, obviously, but watch this program bounce back. I really believe they will. So, you know, at one point in this game, and I think a big problem for Arkansas is like almost felt like you won the game. It's 14-0 and the game's over, and you just kind of clowning a little bit. You know, you got 8.1 yards of carry, you got 170 yards of total offense, and they had like 28 yards at this point, right when that drive was happening. And so, yeah, some mistakes really cost you there. The KJ leap. I mean, how about a bad snap? 3 minutes left. You're going down for the game-winning drive, and you have a bad snap with 3 minutes to go. I mean, and people can say it wasn't that bad, KJ should have caught it. The last thing that a quarterback needs to be doing is making his first read the quarterback-center exchange. That can't be your first read. Your first read needs to be what's happening at wide receiver, what's happening in the secondary, not am I going to get the snap cleanly. So it's unfortunate that happened. Ricky Stromberg's been a hell of a center for him, but that was a bad snap, and it was at the worst possible time. Cam Little, been a fantastic kicker for Arkansas, won some games for Arkansas. I mean, just the fact that it went off the tip of that upright right there, the way it did. And who knows what would have happened after that. I mean, Texas A&M certainly had some momentum. They might have gone down and kicked a field goal, you know, if Arkansas had scored there. So you don't know what would have happened, but just too many things. You know, I feel like we were also saying, like, just keep running the ball, run the ball down their throats. You know, in the third quarter, they were trying to run the ball and just wasn't having any success with it. And I'll go back and watch some things. I'll change my mind on some things like I always do, and we'll get back on Monday and talk about all that stuff. But it's a disappointing loss to lose to Texas A&M because of everything that, you know, it's obviously a rivalry game. Texas A&M and Arkansas, they don't like each other. I'm not sure I like them either. So it's tough to drop a game to those guys. But, you know, it just makes you hate them more, I guess. And people are going to be upset, and they should be. Obviously, losing a game is disappointing. Losing a game against a team that you feel like you should have beaten. I mean, everybody on our staff picked Arkansas to win the game. I think everybody on SEC Nation picked Arkansas to win the game. I felt like Arkansas, even though the way they played against Missouri State the previous week, still feel like they were better than Texas A&M, which is, you know, overall been pretty inept on offense. I don't think Texas A&M's a good team. That's what makes this one a little tougher to swallow. Is Arkansas a good team? Not with all the mistakes. You can't make mistakes in college football. And they didn't for a good stretch there. They didn't have any penalties. And then when the penalties happened, there was like 3 and 4 plays bleeding over from the first half to the second half. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of things you can point to in this one, but you can't make those kind of mistakes and expect to pull out a win against an SEC team. You can't fumble at the 3-yard line and then have a 97-yard return for a touchdown. That's a 13-point swing. They missed the extra point. It's a 13-point swing right there. Arkansas scores there. This game might have been over. Like we're talking and thinking like, well, this is going to be a blowout. And I don't know if Arkansas felt that way. You know, did they feel like, hey, this game's over? I don't know. But it certainly wasn't. There was a lot more football to play. But it's hard to bounce back from a swing like that. Momentum is real in college football. That's why I say all the time when people are talking about analytics and, you know, going for it when you're down in the red zone, instead of taking your medicine and kicking a field goal, teams will go for it because the analytics say they should go for it. But do the analytics measure the momentum swing of what happens, especially in college football? Is there a math formula to measure momentum? Man, this is a tough one. It really is. I feel like Arkansas should be 4-0, 2-0 in the SEC, heading into a huge matchup against Alabama. The kind of game that like College Game Day would be at, you know, and I'm not so sure that they'll be there for this one. I think if Arkansas had won, then, you know, that's kind of a no-brainer that they would go to that game, but still going to be an electric atmosphere. I think Arkansas is probably going to bounce back pretty good, maybe even surprise some people. They're just not 100% clicking yet, and it just shows you, man, a mistake here and there can change everything. And this mistake down here swung all the momentum in the game. So, and the defense too. I mean, I haven't even really got to the defense, so we'll get to them. But, I mean, hell, man, it's 2nd and 30, and you give up a 32-yard play, and there's nobody covering. There's been some questionable things happening on defense lately. There has been. Does that mean Barry Odom's a bad defensive coordinator? I don't think so. I mean, obviously there are some questions here lately, but there's also been some poor tackling issues. I feel like they got some of that corrected, some of the coverage stuff corrected, but Texas A&M had some huge plays. Arkansas just seemed very, very much, you know, they're hurry up, and Texas A&M isn't really that, but, you know, Arkansas just seemed to keep moving the ball, pounding the ball and moving the chains, picking up first downs. Arkansas had like 7 or 8 first downs before Texas A&M had their first one. Like the way the game was going, you just felt like, man, this game might end up being like 21-0 or something. But the tackling was better. It's still got some areas to fix, obviously. We saw that. There's still some really confusing things that are happening. I mean, again, 2nd and 30. That was a huge play in this game. I don't know what else to say. I feel like I'm just going in a cycle talking about the same damn thing over and over again. I'm not happy. You're not happy. People are going to respond to me angrily in this video. I'm going to respond back. It's just how it's going to go. But you know what? We'll get over it. We'll move on. Everybody will hate Texas A&M a little more because they, you know, you don't feel like they deserve it, but they do. They deserved it. They capitalized on Arkansas's mistakes. That's what you do. That's how you win football games. All right. I don't know what else to say. I'm just going around in a circle, talking in a circle. I don't feel very good about it. All right, everybody, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to say this too. I don't know if I'm coming back to Arlington. You guys see what the press box is here? I mean, everybody looks like ants. Like I'm watching the whole game through binoculars or just watching the big screen. I think I'm just going to stay home on this one. This seems kind of pointless. Anyway, nobody cares about that, but I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks for watching, everybody. I know it's not the walk and talk you wanted to see today. It's certainly not the one I wanted to do. Had a whole thing thought out. They'll bounce back. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in Alabama next weekend. In Arkansas against Alabama. That's it. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me. This has been Trey Biddy with HawgSports.com. Texas A&M 23, Arkansas 21 from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. We'll catch you next time.